Hello everyone. Am I audible? Yes, I am audible. Good evening, Bhanupriya. Welcome, Palani. So, कैसे हो आप सब? How are you guys? So, I welcome you all to today's session of biological classification, and in today's lecture we are going to discuss about kingdom Protista. Okay? So, students, welcome to this awesome channel called Let's Crack NEET UG in English. And I'm your biology educator Aditi Gupta. And students, we know that hi Pihu, welcome. So, students, as I've already told you, that we have already discussed the system of classification, then we have discussed kingdom Monera in details. So in today's class I'm going to start kingdom Protista, and you know that we have already studied the R.H. Whittaker five kingdom system of classification, and we know that the basis for the formation of this particular kingdom Protista, was the characterization or the categorizing of the cells on the basis of cellular complexity. Yes, you remember, right? I already discussed that on the basis of cellular complexity, the living organisms were divided into two categories. All the prokaryotes were placed in kingdom Monera, okay, and all the eukaryotes were placed in different kingdoms, and then all the eukaryotes were above that line, you remember, and then on the basis of thallus organization kingdom Protista was formed, and in kingdom Protista all the unicellular eukaryotes individuals are present. Okay, so welcome to today's session. So, students, before moving ahead, most of you already know me, but let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Aditi Gupta, and I have been mentoring students for the past 6 years for their NEET UG preparation. Many students of mine are in their dream medical college, and students, trust me, now it's your turn. Okay, so I myself have secured an All India rank of 61 in prestigious GATE examination. Okay, and have pursued my master's from IIT Kanpur in biological sciences and bioengineering. So, by profession, I am a research scientist, but I am here to follow my passion for teaching and students to be under the guidance of the best mentors available from all across the country. You need to go for this awesome platform, which is Unacademy subscription. Right? So, what exactly is Unacademy subscription? Hi, Ajmal. Hi, Aman Nagaraj. Welcome to the session. So, students, what is an academy subscription? I'll take your 2 minutes of time and I'll explain you what is an academy subscription. So, first of all, you need to know about this awesome app, which is an academy learning app. This particular app hosts some absolutely free of cost features like the quiz and the free special classes. So, do take advantage of them. Go and explore all the free sessions available on an academy learning app. Well, talking about Unacademy subscription, after installing it, click on the plus section, then go to the NEET UG option. Okay, then click on get subscription. Students, there are. This is the screenshot from my special class, which is available on Unacademy Learning app. Okay, the students, there are two platforms available, which is the Plus platform and Unacademy Iconic platform. Okay, so, first of all, you will be getting daily live classes of all the three subjects: physics, chemistry, and biology. Okay, physics, chemistry, and biology from the topmost team of educators, along with doubt clearing sessions, along with regular doubt clearing sessions. Okay, students. Well, the awesome feature is you can select your educator and your batch. There is no redundancy, or there is nothing fixed here. See, you have the flexibility to select your educator and to select your uh, batch. Okay, because there are multiple educators and there are multiple batches running on plus platform. There are around 40 plus educators, who are currently live on plus platform and guiding you for your NEET UG preparation. Okay, so, the complete NEET UG syllabus will be covered in a well detailed manner along with the PDF notes. Okay, and apart from the learning part, you will be evaluated with the help of these live tests and quizzes. You will be given your daily ranking to check your performance and your improvement. And last but not the least, you don't have to subscribe for each and every educator separately. With this one single plus subscription, you will be getting unlimited access to all the NEET UG content available on Unacademy platform. That means the video lectures of all those educators are made available to you by this single subscription. Okay. So now, students, talking about the Iconic subscription, the latest addition to the Unacademy platform, Iconic has all the benefits of Plus. All the benefits of Plus. But Iconic has, some unique feature, like you will be getting your personal coach. You will be getting your personal coach, and that personal coach will be with you throughout your journey of your NEET UG preparation. Okay, students? And you will be given study planner, and which will be reviewed between you and your coach with the help of these bi-weekly meetings. Okay, not only the test and its result, you will be given in-depth test analysis of whatever mistakes you are making from any particular topic, so that there's always a scope of improvements, that you can go back, learn things again, and don't repeat that mistake again. Okay, and also the all the benefits are covered. Okay, you will be getting regular expert guidance. Okay, through the various motivation sessions which will be organizing. The students, there are two possible options for Iconic subscription. If you are a 10th pass out student, then go for 2 year of subscription, and if you are a 12th studying or 12th pass out student, then go for 1 year of subscription. Okay, do not forget to use my referral code AG001. Well, what happens if you use my referral code AG001? Then you will be getting an instant 10% discount on your course fee. That means now you have to pay only rupees 40,500 for 1 year, and only rupees 54,900 for 2 years. Okay. If you calculate it on a monthly basis, you need to pay only rupees 3,375 per month for 1 year, and 2,288 for 2 years. Isn't it cheap? And isn't it the cheapest available option and the best quality per se? The guidance which you are getting, and the coverage, like the study materials, the support which you are getting from the platform along with the personal coach. So this is the cheapest available option and the best available option. So do not miss this opportunity. Now, students, talking about the Plus platform as well. If you are a 12 studying or 12 pass out student, then go for 1 year of subscription. The cost for the same is 27,000, and for 2 year it is 32,400, but only if you use my referral code AG001. Because with the application of this referral code, you will be getting an instant 10% discount. An important announcement, students: Unacademy Plus subscription prices are going to increase very soon. We are regularly updating you regarding this price hike, so do not wait to lose this golden opportunity. Okay, so coming back to our today's class, let's see who all are there. Hi, what's your name? Stock market. So nice name, by the way. So hello. Now see, as I've already told you, that the criteria for the 5 kingdom classification, we have seen that. Let me tell you again, 1 second, a brief review. We know that Sir R.H. Whittaker, he classified all the living organisms into 5 kingdoms. Okay, he used some basic criteria. For example, on the basis of cellular complexity, all the living organisms were classified into prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, all the prokaryotes were placed in kingdom Monera. That means all the organisms above this line were eukaryotic in nature. Now the next criteria he used to classify all the eukaryotes were the thallus organization or the body organization. Okay, so on the basis of this thallus organization, all the eukaryotes were further divided into unicellular form and multicellular form. Okay, that means all the unicellular eukaryotes were present in kingdom Protista. And in today's class, I'm about to discuss about this particular kingdom Protista. See, there were 3 multicellular kingdoms: Plantae, that means all the plants; Animalia; and Mycota, that means all the fungus. Okay, students, this particular Protista is an important connecting link between this Monera and all the 3 multicellular kingdoms. Okay, this Protista is a connecting link between kingdom Monera and Plantae, Animalia and Mycota. Okay, Protista is believed to be, ancestral organisms of all the, you know, multicellular organisms. So all the present day multicellular organisms, they are believed to be, derived from, or their origin is believed to be from the kingdom Protista. Okay. Now, coming towards our today's topic. So kingdom Protista, it includes, what are the organisms which are present here in kingdom Protista? So all the unicellular, eukaryotes are present in kingdom Protista. That means, what are the features? What are the features of kingdom Protista? So first, let us know what are the organisms. See, dinoflagellates are present, diatoms are present, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoans are present. Okay. Dinoflagellates, diatoms, and euglenoids. These three categories, they are also known as, Protistian algae. Why? Because I'll be discussing that they are photosynthetic in nature. Okay. So these are, Protistian algae. This slime mold comes in the category of Protistian decomposer. Okay. And the protozoan, they are, either parasitic or consumer, right? These protozoans are believed to be the ancestor of today's modern day animals. Okay, students? So these are the organisms which are placed in kingdom Protista, and all of these organisms are unicellular eukaryotes. Okay. Now, when we discuss about various properties of the kingdom Protista, first let us have a brief idea of how, the cell will look like. How the cell will look like. So, for example, as I've already told you that yes, kingdom Protista contains all the unicellular eukaryotes. That means they will be containing, the structure of the cell will be similar to the cell structure of a eukaryotic cell. It will be similar in a structure to a eukaryotic cell. And if I draw a eukaryotic cell, don't worry, Ranjit. Welcome to the session. We have just started it. Hi, Adarsh. Join our today's session. In today's session, we are going to discuss kingdom Protista. Okay. So, see, if we see a eukaryotic cell, it contains a double membrane bound nucleus. DNA is present inside the nucleus. There are various other cell organelles present. For example, there will be mitochondria. Okay. There will be endoplasmic reticulum. Okay. There will be ribosomes present on the endoplasmic reticulum or freely on the cytoplasm. Okay. Then there will be Golgi complex. Then there will be lysosome. There will be vacuoles. Okay. There will be, centrioles. So there are various other cell organelles which are found in a typical eukaryotic structure. Got it? Now see, since protists are made up of, are eukaryotic in nature, that means the basic cellular organization will be that of a typical eukaryotic cell. Okay. Now let us discuss their various properties in detail. For example, talking about their mode of nutrition. So, in kingdom Protista, we'll be getting a diversity. For example, there are various type of mode of nutrition available. If I say holophytic mode of nutrition, that means holophytic is, photosynthetic mode of nutrition. Holophytic is, that means they're able to synthesize their own food. That means photosynthetic in nature. Okay. Holozoic means they will be ingesting the food first, and then then the food will be digested. Okay. So most common holozoic mode of nutrition is seen commonly in case of animals. Okay. So what happens in holozoic? First, ingestion of food takes place. That means we'll eat the food, and then digestion of food takes place. Got it? Third is the absorptive mode of nutrition. This particular term is, my dear students, really important. Why? Because the question has been asked using this particular terminology. What is absorptive mode of nutrition? So, see, the saprotropic mode of nutrition. That means organism which first of all release digestive juice. Okay, release the digestive juice outside the body. Okay, which helps in the breakdown of the dead and decaying organic matter. See, saprotropic mode of nutrition means obtaining the nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter. Okay, so what happened? Organism first of all releases the digestive juice outside the body into the dead and decaying organic matter, and with the help of those digestive juices the organic matter is decomposed and then it is absorbed, then the nutrients are absorbed, and that is why this method of reproduction is this method of nutrition is known as the absorptive mode of nutrition. I hope this point is clear. Similarly, there is another term which is used, which is the mixotropic mode of nutrition. That means organisms which show the combination, for example, euglenoids. What happens in case of euglena? Euglena has photosynthetic pigments, that means it is holophytic also. Okay, because it can synthesize its own food, but in the absence of sunlight, it becomes either, saprotropic or it becomes either holozoic. Okay, so it has the combination mode of nutrition. It can go for either holophytic or sapro or holophytic or holozoic. Okay, so all these combination sort of mode of nutrition is a mixotropic mode of nutrition. I hope this point is crystal clear to each and every one of you. Okay, so we have these many type of nutrition in case of kingdom Protista, and I've already told you who all organisms are present in kingdom Protista. There are dinoflagellates, there are diatoms and desmids, then there are euglenoids, then there are slime molds and protozoans. Okay, students. Now, moving ahead and talking about the mode of reproduction. Okay, so the mode of reproduction is, in case of the reproduction, in case of bacteria, we have seen that there was either asexual mode of reproduction or parasexual mode of reproduction. Have I used the term sexual reproduction in case of kingdom Monera? No, because sexual reproduction is seen for the very first time in the nature in kingdom Protista, and this is a very important point. So first I'll discuss about the asexual reproduction. Okay, now students, see all the doubts. First, let me come to the topic. For example, if you're talking any particular topic regarding the diatoms or the dinoflagellates or the euglenoids, first let me come to the topic. I have included each and every important point. Okay, so students, see, talking about the mode of reproduction, asexually they reproduce by binary fission. That means when a mother cell, it divides into two daughter cells. Okay, and the difference is here. See, for example, in case of Monera, we have seen that binary fission do occur there. Okay, but there the process of division was with the help of mitosis. That means a primitive type of cell division, direct cell division. But here what happens? Mitosis takes place. Similarly, what happens? Spore formation. So what happened? Spore formation takes place in the asexual mode of reproduction. There is a bag-like structure which is known as the sporangium. Okay. So what happens? The spore mother cells are present inside. Spore mother cells are present inside, and which leads to the development of various spores. Okay. Now, as I have already told you that the sexual reproduction is seen for the very first time in kingdom Protista, and sexual reproduction is characterized by an event, and a very important event, which is the fertilization or fusion of gametes. Fertilization or fusion of gametes, which is also known as syngamy. So fusion of gametes is syngamy. Now, on the basis of the nature of the fusing gametes, syngamy can be of either isogamous type, or it can be called as isogamy, or anisogamy, Okay, on the basis of the nature of the fusing gametes, I'm repeating it again, this particular term is really important. If the fusing gametes are morphologically similar, because there is no clear-cut differentiation between the male and the female, or no clear-cut demarcation, both male and female gametes are identical in nature. Okay, morphologically identical. They can be physiologically different, they can be genetically different, but morphologically identical. And when these gametes fuse, this particular example is of isogamous fertilization. That means fusing gametes are same or identical in nature. Okay. Now what happens in anisogamous condition? Fusing gametes are dissimilar in nature or non-identical in nature. For example, a large female gamete is present, okay, and a small motile male gamete is present. okay, or various other combinations are possible. So anisogamous condition means dissimilar or non-identical gametic fusion, okay, and a modification of such type of fusion, a modification of such type of condition is the oogamous condition. It is the oogamous condition. What happens in oogamous condition? The female gamete is large and non-motile. Female gamete is large and non-motile, whereas the male gamete is small and motile in nature. Small and motile in nature. So this is the type of fertilization. So as shown here in the diagram, see, syngamy is the condition. That means fusion of the gamete, isogamete. See, both the fusing gametes are identical in nature. So this is the example of isogamy. Anisogamete, see, this is the small gamete and this is the large gamete. Okay, so non-identical or dissimilar in nature. Male and female gametes are non-identical in nature. This is an example of anisogamy. And when oogamy is the modification. Oogamy is what? Oogamy is the modification of an isogamy. So oogamy is the modification of an isogamy, and what happens in oogamy? Female gamete is large and non-motile, whereas male gamete is small and motile. So this particular type of reproduction is seen for the very first time in kingdom Protista. Sexual reproduction was absent before this kingdom. Okay, now let me discuss the life cycle in kingdom Protista. Okay, life cycle in kingdom Protista. Okay, see what happens if the adult body, there are two conditions. First of all, let us understand, if an organism contains a single set of chromosome, then it is known as haploid. N means haploid. What do I mean by being haploid? That means carrying or having only single set of chromosomes. Okay. Similarly, what happens if an organism like us, they contain two set of chromosomes. See, we get one set of chromosome from our father and one set of chromosome from our mother, and that is why we say we have 23 pairs of chromosome, right? So if we have 2n yani ki diploid, two set of chromosome, which is known as a diploid. Okay, so such organisms are diplontic in nature, and they are haploid in nature. So now what happens? The life cycle of the protist depend upon the ploidy level of the adult organism. Example, if the adult organism is diploid in nature, then what happens? They form gametes. Okay, male and female gametes. Okay, male gamete and female gamete. This is the process of gametogenesis, and they form gamete with the help of a division, which is the meiosis division. And both the gametes are haploid in nature. Okay, because meiosis has taken place. Now what happens with the event which is known as syngamy? That means fusion of both the gamete. Diploid structure is again formed, which is known as the zygote, and now the zygote, it develops into adult bag. Okay, so what happened? This type of life cycle is known as diplontic life cycle. And meiosis is taking place during the formation of gametes. That means in diplontic life cycle, gametic meiosis takes place. An important point. In diplontic life cycle, what happens? Gametic meiosis takes place. Got it? Similarly, I'm removing all this thing because I want to show you the comparison between the diplontic and the haplontic life cycle. See, similarly, what happens if the adult body is haploid. Okay, now what happens? They form gametes with the help of mitosis itself, because gametes are always haploid in nature. So by the help of mitosis division, haploid gametes are formed, one male and one female gamete. And as a result of sexual reproduction, fusion of gametes take place. That means diploid zygote will be formed. Now this zygote is diploid in nature. It cannot develop further to form the haploid adult. That means now here takes place the meiotic division. Okay, so with the help of this meiosis, What happens with the help of this meiosis, haploid structure is formed and then it develops into adult. Okay, and this type of meiosis is the zygotic meiosis. Why? Because here meiosis is taking place in the zygote itself, and such type of life cycle is known as the haplontic life cycle. So this type of life cycle is haplontic life cycle. Okay, only diploid cell is the zygote. Here only haploid cell is the gametes. Okay, so now you clearly know that in case of diplontic life cycle, gametic meiosis takes place, and in case of haplontic life cycle, zygotic meiosis takes place. Okay, so see, I have used a figure to explain the same. See here, the adult is haploid in nature. Now with the help of this mitosis, gametes are being formed. Now these gametes undergoes the process of fertilization, that means the syngamy, and the zygote, which is diploid in nature, is formed, and now meiosis takes place. This is an important step, and with the help of the meiosis, haploid individual again, see, haploid individual again grows and forms the adult body. This life cycle is haplontic life cycle. Okay, this life cycle is haplontic life cycle. And similarly, in case of gametic meiosis or diplontic life cycle, the adult is diploid in nature. The adult undergoes the process of meiosis here. During the process of gamete formation, that means gametic meiosis is taking place, and that is why we have termed the name as gametic meiosis. And then after the fertilization, zygote, which is diploid in nature, is formed, and with the help of normal mitotic division, growth takes place and adult organism is formed. So this life cycle is diplontic life cycle. Okay, students, so this was about the events which are taking place in case of sexual reproduction. Now, moving ahead and starting with the very first class of Protista, which is the dinoflagellates. See, dino means two, flagellates means flagella. That means the organisms with two flagellas. Yes, the Protista with two flagella. By the way, let me ask you a question. We have seen flagella in case of Monera also. Yes, and I have explained you in detail the classical structure of a bacterian, flagella. There I told you that the bacterial flagella is made up of a protein which is flagellin in nature, and there we have seen the presence of two pair of rings in the basal body structure, right? But here, my dear students, remember that now we are in kingdom Protista, that means the eukaryotic cellular organization is there, and in case of eukaryotic cellular organization, the flagella, it is made up of a protein which is tubulin. It is made up of a protein which is tubulin in nature, or which is called tubulin, and this tubulin is arranged in a classical 9+2 arrangement. This particular thing which we already learned in cell chapter. Okay, so I'll be explaining this 9+2 arrangement in chapter cell also, but this 9+2 arrangement is what? The tubulin proteins are arranged in the periphery in the doublet form, and two singlet are present here in the center part. Okay, so 9 peripheral doublet and 2 singlet is the classical 9+2 arrangement of flagella, which is seen in case of eukaryotic flagella, and which is made up of a protein which is tubulin. So this is an important difference, my dear students, in case of eukaryotic and prokaryotic flagella. Okay, now see, I have included some images. See, so there are some example of dinoflagellates like the Ceratium, Gymnodinium, and Noctiluca. Okay, now let us discuss about each one of them. See, dinoflagellates, they are commonly golden brown in color, which is due to the pigment present in their body. They are mainly found in marine water. They are mainly found in marine water, but only few freshwater forms are also visible or found. Okay? Then what happens? Dinoflagellates, they appear, they are also known as armored algae. They are also known as what? Armored algae. Why? Because their cell wall is made up of, first of all, the cell wall is present. Then the cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin. Cell wall is stiff type of cell wall which is made up of cellulose and pectin. Okay, and the cell wall is arranged in a plate like manner which resembles armor, and that is why dinoflagellates is known as the armored algae. Okay, you have seen arranged in the form of plate like manner. Cell wall is arranged in a plate like manner. Is present in a plate like manner. Okay, so which resembles what? Which resembles armor, and that is why they are termed as armored algae. See, as shown over here. Now, as I have already told you that dinoflagellates contain two flagella. Dinoflagellates contain two flagella, and because of the presence of these two flagella, what happens? They show a classical movement, top-like movement. Oh, okay, because with the help of these two flagellas. So therefore, they are also termed as whirling rib. Okay, whirling whip. Okay, because of the presence of two flagella, they show a whirling whip-like motion or a top-like motion, and that is why they are known as the whirling whip. Okay, they are also termed as fire algae because they show the property of bioluminescence, which I'll be discussing in my later part of the class. Okay, now students, there is an important term which is present over here, which marks or says that dinoflagellates are mesokaryotes in nature. What are mesokaryotes? So first of all, we have heard about prokaryote and eukaryote, but now we need to know about mesokaryote. So see students, meso means intermediate, karyo means nucleus. So in case of prokaryote and in case of eukaryote, there were some certain differences. In prokaryote, nucleus was absent, whereas in eukaryotes, nucleus was present. Okay. In prokaryotes, the DNA was present in the cytoplasm and was folded with the help of polyamines. But in eukaryotes, this DNA is packaged with the help of a positively charged protein, which is known as the histone protein. Okay, so the presence of the nuclear membrane and the presence of the histone protein is the characteristic feature of eukaryotes. Okay, now what happens? In case of mesokaryotes, what happens? Nuclear membrane and nucleolus is present. Nuclear membrane is present and nucleolus is also present, but what is absent? Histone protein is absent. Okay, so histone protein in case of dinoflagellate is absent, but nuclear membrane and nucleolus is present, and that is why they are termed as the meso. That means the intermediate type of nucleus. Intermediate in between whom? So intermediate in between the prokaryotes and the eukaryotes. Got it? Okay, so they are mesokaryotic in nature. Okay, now talking about the pigment part, see, pigment is really important from the complete kingdom Protista. So what sort of kingdom pigments are present in kingdom Protista? So chlorophyll A. And we have seen that the chlorophyll A was first of all observed in cyanobacteria, right? Chlorophyll A is the photosynthetic pigment which is found in case of higher plants, and from cyanobacteria it is present everywhere. See, for example, in dinoflagellates, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, and certain xanthophylls are present. For example, dinoxanthin and didinoxanthin, which are responsible for its classical golden brown color. Okay, students? Talking about the stored food, so stored food is starch, and they mainly reproduce by binary fission. Sexual reproduction is quite rare in nature in case of dinoflagellates, and they are mostly haploid. That means they will be undergoing zygotic meiosis in case if sexual reproduction does take place. Okay, except Noctulica. Why? Because Noctulica has certain exception. First of all, it is diploid in nature. It is diploid in nature. Then it do not contain pigments. That means it is not photosynthetic in nature. It shows heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, so Noctulica is one such example, and also it is colorless because it do not has pigments. That is why it is colorless in nature. Okay, because color is provided with the presence of these pigments only, and since the pigment is absent, that is why it is colorless. I hope this point is clear. Now, some important properties of dinoflagellates are they show bioluminescence. Now, what is this bioluminescence? So, see, their protoplasm contains some photogenic granules. So, the protoplasm of dinoflagellate, it contains some photogenic granules, and the name of those photogenic granules are luciferin. Okay, so luciferin is present in the protoplasm of the dinoflagellates. And luciferin, upon oxidation, it releases energy. And which is released in the form of, when it releases, it is visible in the form of light, and that is why the dinoflagellates, they glow, and this particular phenomena is known as bioluminescence. Okay, so this is shown by most of the dinoflagellates. Similarly, there are certain examples. For example, we are talking about the Goniolax. Goniolax reproduces really fast, and because of that it covers the entire surface of the ocean, and that is why it is known to cause red tide. It is also known as red tide because it is red in nature and it covers the entire surface. Therefore it is known as red tide, and it is known to cause water bloom. Okay. Similarly, there are certain dinoflagellates which are toxins in nature because they secrete certain type of toxins. For example, gymnodium. There is M also. Gymnodinium and Goniolax. So gymnodinium and Goniolax, they secrete a certain type of toxic which is, harmful for our nervous system. Okay. And that particular toxin is saxitoxin. So we get this particular toxin, or we acquire this particular toxin with the help of food chain. It affects marine organisms also. Similarly, because Noctilica, it glows because of this bioluminescence phenomena, therefore it is also commonly known as sea ghost. Okay, students. So this was about the dinoflagellates, Protistian algae, golden brown in color, photosynthetic pigment, chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, and dinoxanthin and didinoxanthin. Okay, stored food is starch. And bioluminescence is its key phenomena or property, which is due to the presence of luciferin. Now moving ahead, let us discuss the second class, which is the diatoms. Okay, so diatoms and desmids, they are present in this division which is known as Chrysophyta. The division of the dinoflagellate was the Pyrophyta. Now in Chrysophyta, diatoms and desmids are included. Diatoms are commonly known as golden algae or jewels of sea. Okay, they are golden in color. Okay, they are also found in both marine and fresh water. Okay, the diatoms cell wall is made up of cellulose, and in places the cell wall is embedded with silica. In places the cell wall of diatom is embedded with the silica, and due to which the cell wall of diatom is very stiff in nature and it is quite indestructible. That means it do not degenerate or decompose even after the death of the organism. Okay, because of the presence of this very hard structure which is the silica. Okay, why are they termed as diatoms? Because diatoms means cut into two. The body of diatoms contain two parts. Okay, this it is like this. The above part is the epitheca. Above part is the epitheca, and the lower part is the hypotheca. Okay, so the body of the diatom contains two parts. That is why it is known as diatom. That means cut into two. Okay, theca. So the above part is the epitheca and the below part is the hypotheca, and the overlapping region, this particular region is the girdle. Overlapping region is the girdle. Okay, they are non-motile in nature. So diatoms are non-motile in nature. They do not move. They simply float on the surface. They simply float on the surface because of the presence of low density fats. Because of the presence of low density fat, they simply float. They are non-motile in the nature. Okay. Now the pigments which are found in diatoms are chlorophyll A, chlorophyll C, and fucoxanthin. Okay. C. Chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C. It was also present over there. Now the difference is on the xanthophylls. There didinoxanthin and dinoxanthin was present, and here fucoxanthin is present. Okay. And C. Diatoms also comes under the category of Protistian algae. So diatoms is also a type of Protistian algae. Okay. Talking about the stored food now, the stored food in case of diatom is leucosin, also known as chrysolaminarin, which is a type of, a modified type of a starch. Okay, so stored food is leucosin or chrysolaminarin and fats. These fats, they help in providing buoyancy to these diatoms, which helps them to float because it do not contains any movement or motile structures. Flagella are absent. Okay, now as I have told you that the cell wall of dinoflagellates contain silica. Okay, so what happens because of this silica, the cell wall is quite indestructible in nature. Cell wall is quite indestructible in nature. Okay, and what happens even after the death of the diatoms, they settle down in the bottom of the sea, forming diatomaceous earth. They settle down in the bottom of the sea, forming diatomaceous earth. And this diatomaceous earth my dear student, is also known as Kisilar. One second. This diatomaceous earth is also known as Kisilar. Okay, and why is it present? Because of the presence of the silica, it do not get decomposed or degenerate, and it is isolated, it is taken out from the sea bottom, and has multiple commercial uses. For example, it is used in the formation of toothpaste, in metal polishing, even in sound proofing, stone polishing, as I've told you. They are because being a bad conductor of heat, they are also used as heat insulators. They're also used in filtration of oils and syrups. Okay, so this part, my dear student, this particular term is really, really important, diatomaceous earth. Okay, so it is obtained because of the presence of silica in their cell wall. Now, moving ahead, coming towards the next class, which is the euglenoids. Okay, the most famous example is the euglena. Most famous example is the euglena. So, what happened with euglena? We have seen that in the two kingdom system of classification, which was given by Linnaeus, euglena was unable to find a place. What was the reason? First of all, euglena has the photosynthetic ability. Okay, now according to the normal assumption, see, all the photosynthetic organisms, they generally have a cell wall, but euglena do not contain the cell wall. Okay, so despite having photosynthetic ability, euglena do not contain cell wall. Okay, so it was difficult to place it in kingdom Plantae. Similarly, euglena has a contractile vacuole, which is a classical feature of animals and which helps in osmoregulation. Okay, now again, because it contains contractile vacuole, it should be placed in animals, but it do photosynthesizes, and that is why the position was very confusing for in case of euglena. Euglena is also known as the connecting link between the plants and the animals. Euglena is the connecting link between the plants and the animals. Okay, because of the reason I have already discussed now. So euglena, it contains a mixotropic mode of nutrition. That means in the presence of sunlight, what happens? Euglena, it performs the process of photosynthesis. Okay, because of the presence of the pigments, and the pigments are chlorophyll A and this time chlorophyll B, and in case of xanthophyll, zeaxanthin is present. Okay, and in the absence of sunlight, what happens? In the absence of sunlight or in the dark, what happens? Either the saprobic or the holozoic mode of nutrition is observed. So saprotropic or the holozoic mode of nutrition is observed in case of euglenoids. Okay, now the structure of euglena shown over here. See, it contains flagella. Okay, they contain flagella. One of the flagella, it contains two flagella. Okay, one transverse, one longitudinal, but what happens? Only one of the flagella is functional. So euglenoids, all of them are motile in nature. One important point, that all of the euglenoids are motile in nature. If they contain flagella, then they will be moving, or they will be showing movement with the help of flagella itself. But in case if they do not contain flagella, okay, so if flagella is present, then movement is with the help of flagella, and if flagella is absent, then they show a classical wriggling like movement. And this wriggling like movement is worm like movement. Okay, wriggling like means worm like movement. Okay, so what happens? The body of the euglena, it contains plasma membrane, and outside the plasma membrane, a layer is present which is known as the pellicle. Okay, this pellicle is normally made up of lipoprotein. Okay, so this is a flexible layer of protein which is called pellicle, made up of lipoprotein. Okay, now what happens? See, in the anterior end of the euglena, near to the origin of the flagella, an eye spot is present. And at this particular spot, at eye spot, a special pigment called astaxanthin is found. A special spot which is known as the astaxanthin is found. Okay, so this astaxanthin, it is involved in the protection of the eye spot. So it protects the euglenoids by very intense solar radiations. So astaxanthin is red color. Okay, and it protects the euglenoids from very intense solar radiations. And in case of normal light radiations, what happened? The astaxanthin, it moves towards the center of the cell. Okay, so in normal condition, what happens? Euglenoids, they appear green in color, but what happens in the intense solar radiation? They appears red in color. Okay, and the stored food is paramylum and fat. So stored food is paramylum and fat. Paramylum again is a modified form of a starch. Okay, in case of reproduction, they reproduce by longitudinal binary fission. That means the axis will be such that they'll keep on dividing in this way. So longitudinal binary fission. And in unfavorable condition, a thickening is formed, which is known as the cyst. A cyst is formed in unfavorable condition. Sexual reproduction is never seen in case of euglenoids. Sexual reproduction is never seen in case of euglenoids. Okay, so we have seen that euglenoids are the connecting link between the plants and the animals. They show mixotropic mode of nutrition, and the pigments are really important. The see in kingdom Protista, you must know the type of pigment present in every classes. Then the stored food, okay, and there are special features. Okay, like bioluminescence in case of dinoflagellates. Okay, Kisielgar or diatomaceous earth in case of diatoms. Similarly, this astaxanthin and this mixotropic mode of nutrition in euglenoids. Okay, now moving ahead and talking about the slime molds. Okay, the false fungi. Slime molds are the false fungi. The position of slime molds are also not fixed or not clear. Okay, first of all, slime molds comes in the category of consumers or decomposers. So they are mainly decomposers. Okay, they show saprophytic mode of nutrition. Okay, so they feed on dead and decaying organic matter. They spread all towards the dead organic log or dead log of tree, and start decomposing it. They are present in multiple forms. Okay, see, slime molds can be present in case of acellular form or in the form of cellular form. Okay, in acellular form, what happens? Slime molds appear to be multinucleated in nature, and cell wall is not found. Remember, cell wall is absent. Okay, so they contain a multinucleated condition in acellular stage. And what happens? This particular stage is known as the plasmodial stage. This particular stage is known as the plasmodial stage. Okay, and acellular slime molds are diploid in nature. Acellular slime molds are diploid in nature. Talking about the cellular slime molds, they are, amoeba-like. They are amoeba-like. They are present in this manner. Okay. So, they are amoeba-like. They are also present together, but the cell membrane is present in between them. Okay. And they are amoeba-like. Okay. And they are haploid in nature. They are haploid in nature. Okay. So, what happened? They generally reproduce by spore formation. Okay, what happened in unfavorable condition? They produce fruiting bodies. Okay, and the spores are produced, and these spores are highly resistant structures. They can they can persist during the unfavorable condition, and during the normal condition these spores regenerate to form the slime mold. The sporangia of the slime mold is known as the capillitium. This is an important term. Okay, so the sporangia of the slime mold is termed as the capillitium. So this was about the slime molds or the false fungi. The cell wall is normally absent in case of slime mold, but the spore contains the cell wall. So spore contains cell wall. Okay, as we know, cell wall is the characteristic feature of plantae. That means at this stage it resembles plants. This slime mold in this plasmodial stage, it moves around the log and it decomposes. Since it shows movement, it has the classical animal-like features also. Since it shows saprophytic mode of nutrition, it is similar to fungus also. And that is why it became really difficult to find a place for these slime molds. Okay, so these are protistian decomposers found in two types, acellular and cellular. In acellular form, multiple nucleated stages present, cell wall is not found, and this particular stage is the plasmodial stage, and they are diploid in nature. In case of cellular form, various unicellular stage, they combine together, amoeba-like cells, they combine together, but this membrane is present. Okay, and they are haploid in nature. Talking about their store food, so store food is glycogen and oil. Okay, and the sporangia of slime mold is known as the capillitium. These are the various examples which is seen or found in the nature. Okay, students. Now, talking about the last class, which is the protozoa, which is known as the ancestor of animals. So you will be studying about this particular class category of kingdom Protista while studying the kingdom Animalia. Okay, so there, before starting the kingdom Animalia, a brief introduction is given about this protozoa. Okay, on the basis of locomotion, they are classified into various categories. For example, the amoeboids, they show, they do not contain any specified structure. They show movement with the help of finger like processes, which is known as the pseudopodia. Pseudo is the false, podia is the foot, so false foot. So amoeboids, they show movement, with the help of these finger-like structures. Now the ciliates, they contain cilia all across their body. Okay, and what happens with the, as we know, cilia, it show coordinated movement. Cilia show coordinated movement. Okay, so oar-like movement is found in these ciliates, and this cilia helps in capturing the food with the help of formation of moving the food near to the organism, and they ingest the food with the process of phagocytosis and all. In case of sporozoa, sporozoa are the non-motile class of the protozoa, and they are, parasitic in nature. They are mainly parasitic in nature. Talking about the flagellates, they contain flagella for locomotion. They contain flagella for locomotion. Okay, so protozoa are mainly classified on these four classes on the basis of the locomotory structure. Again, there are multiple examples from this particular protozoa which are involved. Various diseases are involved, are present, found in nature because of the causative organisms which are found in this protozoa. Okay, the malarial parasite Plasmodium, it is also found in protozoa itself. Okay, so students, you'll be learning about protozoa when we'll be discussing about kingdom Animalia in detail. Okay, so in today's class, we have seen that kingdom Protista consists of all the unicellular eukaryotes, and it contains dinoflagellates, diatoms, okay, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoa. Okay, dinoflagellates, let me provide you a summary slide. Okay, so Protistian algae. Now, Protistian algae is, if question comes Protistian algae, the answer will be dinoflagellates. Okay, then diatoms, and of course euglenoids, because it also show the process of photosynthesis. Okay, now if someone says Protistian decomposers, then the answer should be very clear. The answer is slime molds. Okay, if we say holozoic mode of nutrition or heterotrophic mode of nutrition, then the answer comes parasite. Okay, sorry, parasite, not protozoa. Most of the protozoans are also present in parasitic form. So heterotrophic mode of nutrition is the protozoans. Ancestor of modern day animals are the protozoans. Various diseases are being caused by these protozoans. Okay, now the important points to remember is the pigments, my dear students, the pigments. Okay, pigments and store food is really important in this complete kingdom, and rest all is really okay, fantastic. And we have seen that sexual reproduction was evolved, came into existence for the very first time in kingdom Protista. Okay, and we have seen the type of life cycle. When the adult body is deployed in nature, then the meiosis take place during the formation of gamete, and thus gametic formation takes place. Okay, similarly, when the adult body is haploid in nature, then what happens? The zygotic meiosis takes place, and the life cycle is haplontic in nature. So this was all about kingdom Protista, my dear students. Hope you liked the class, and hope all your concepts got cleared. Okay, we'll meet again. Okay, and I will be discussing the next chapter, which is the kingdom Plantae. Okay, so again, my timings, I'm live daily at 5 p.m. Okay, let me change the color. Most of you already know me. I'm regularly live at 5 p.m. and 3 days a week with class 11 topic. Okay, so 5 p.m. I'm live. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is class 11 topic, and Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday is class 12 topic. Okay, students, I'm live on Unacademy learning app today only at 3:30 p.m. I took a special class, and special classes are absolutely free of cost. Okay, so do follow me there on Unacademy learning app to follow my classes routine. Okay, students, do not miss to subscribe this awesome channel and press the bell icon to get all the updates. And do not forget to use my referral code, which is AG001. Okay, to get an instant 10% discount, and do not miss this golden opportunity to enroll yourself in the best available online education platform. Trust me, you will never regret this decision, because this is the most crucial phase of your life. And do not think much, because you will be wasting your time. The most awesome feature is you have the flexibility. You can choose your educator based on your understanding and your compatibility, and this isn't available anywhere else. This is available, this particular feature is present on this particular platform, which is Unacademy. Unacademy provides you the flexibility to choose your educator and your particular batch. There are multiple batches running. You can select with whom you want to study a particular subject or a particular chapter even. Okay, and there are, my dear students, topmost team of educators from all across the country. You don't need to step out of your house, because in these corona times, we don't need to step out. Okay, because we need to keep ourselves and our family members really safe. We don't know when the things will become normal, and we don't want to waste our time. Okay, so do not think much. Go buy your Unacademy subscription, either the plus or the iconic, depending upon what suits you, but I have discussed in details about both the benefits. Okay, and considering the monthly expenditure, it is really really cheap. It won't affect the budget of your family as well, because education should never be costly. Okay, and also students, do not miss to use my referral code AG001. Okay, take care, have a nice day, we'll meet again.